my name is Sara Garavelli from Trusted Services, and I'm the coordinator of the Blue Cloud project, of which you heard about this morning already. So very shortly, I will try to give you a flavor of what Blue Cloud is about. Despite the name, so Blue Cloud is not only about cloud computing, so I want to make this very clear since the beginning. But what we want to do is that through a smart federation of resources, and I'm talking about cloud resources, but also storage resources, but also the federation of data infrastructure, we want to build this cyber platform in order to serve scientists working in the marine domain. In particular, as you have already heard this morning, we want to provide access to multidisciplinary data from observation, in situ and remote sensing, data products, but also numerical models. And then we want to build this virtual research environment, which is a space for researchers to perform better science. How do we want to do that? As I said, federation is a key word in the Blue Cloud project. So we have brought together the leading European data infrastructures, for example, the CDataNet, Eurobis, EMODNet, the Copernicus Marine Services, ICOS Marine, and we are trying to federate in them with what we call horizontal infrastructures, so those really providing the cloud and the storage resources and the generic services, like QDAT, D4Science, and the DIAS from Copernicus. As Blue Cloud is a pilot project, we want to showcase the impact of performing science in such a framework. And we wanted that through 5 demonstrators in different areas. Zooplankton EOV products, plankton genomics, marine environmental indicators, fisheries, and aquaculture. Said that, yesterday we had the pleasure to have a workshop co-located with this event, jointly organized with the AORA, Anchor, and All Atlantis program. And we focused this workshop on bringing together different players working in the data infrastructure domain from all over the Atlantic area to better understand what's the landscape of data infrastructure today, and also to better understand how we can collaborate together, because we think that Blue Cloud, it's not just a project, but it's really a vision. And this vision should not be just applied to Europe, but we are aiming to have a global Blue Cloud. That's how it should be. And as you see on the slides, you can see the names of the excellent moderators that we had yesterday on these 4 roundtables. Now, in the next 2 slides, I will try to summarize the outputs of these roundtables. The first roundtable was focusing on how citizens can contribute to data collection and usage. And one of the conclusions was that trust is key. So transparency towards citizen scientists is fundamental. So we need to provide those doing citizen science feedback, because they can understand the impact of their contributions to science. We need to keep them also with easy tools, okay? So they need to have easy apps for download or upload data, but also probably sensors, so cheap sensors that they can use for their observations. Citizen scientists, then they also need to work together and close to scientists. So it's really important to build this bridge. The second roundtable focused on industry and ocean data. So we have seen yesterday during the workshop that there are already many initiatives through which industry is contributing in making available some data on voluntary basis. And we just heard also about the Seabed 2030 initiative. One recommendation coming out from this roundtable was that policymakers need to engage both with industry and academia to establish fit-for-purpose measurements to be required by legislation. So it was discussed yesterday that sometimes people or industry, they are making measurements that are not needed. So probably we need to better define the boundaries of these measurements that we need to do. And also to force to follow the FAIR principles. So these will really make an impact on how then we manage the data. The third roundtable, which was the one more close to the Blue Cloud activities, was focusing on how to connect the different data infrastructures across the Atlantic. One of the outcomes of the discussion was that what we need are really top-down coordination actions at the international level, because we need effort and we need people to work on this collaboration. And we really established this global blue cloud that we are aiming for. And these initiatives, they need to gather funding from their regional authorities. So these are really to be an international effort. During the workshop, we also gathered some expressions of interest in contributing to the Blue Cloud Roadmap 2030. This is a policy document that Blue Cloud has started delivering, through which we want to provide recommendations for future funding programs, but also extend the pool of marine data infrastructures that are currently part of Blue Cloud. So this is really our way to move forward. Coming back to the discussions that we heard during the day about how to improve communication, we discussed yesterday the idea of having a simulation of a disaster management and to compare how this use case will work with local data versus global data. So, for example, if we do a use case with European data and then we do the same simulation with data from all the Atlantic data, what is the impact? So we could showcase how different are the results, but also we can maybe better convince governments that are reluctant in sharing data that data is useful and can provide and can support their decision making. The last roundtable was really focusing on communication and how to simplifying or making communication easy can support the impact of the scientific results. So we should avoid these siloed communication frameworks. So physical and digital communication should be really integrated and interacting. We should, again, coming back to the transparency, communicate the scientific process and uncertainty to elevate the social value, and also develop relationship with media. And we have seen today excellent examples of media, of how media can support the scientific communication. Finally, always related to communication, fund, evaluate, and credentialize communication strategies across platforms, but also scales. It's really something that can boost the impact and the outcome of science. And this closes my brief report. If you have any questions, you have our website there, or we can catch up at the reception. Okay. Thank you very much.